Our top story is the president. He kicked off Christmas weekend by signing that sweeping Republican tax plan into law before he headed down to Florida. Joining us now, Center for Freedom and Prosperity co-founder and chairman and tax policy analyst Dan Mitchell. Dan, good morning.
Good morning.
So, all right, we all have our different takes on what this tax bill is going to mean for us and for the country. What do you think the implications are of the bill for next year?
Well, I guess politically, the most important thing is that once withholding tables are adjusted, ordinary middle-class families are going to see more take-home pay. That presumably will make them happen. As an economist, what excites me is the lower corporate tax rate, because I think that has the potential to actually bump up our long-run rate of economic growth, which in the long run is much more important for the bottom line for families, because you have a question of how much of your income do you get to keep, but then how much does your income grow? And I think that's the key thing to focus on.
Betsy, you say that you think it's going to be great for jobs and for companies.
Absolutely. And the research shows that countries that lower their corporate tax rate see wages increase. So it's likely to expect that that's going to happen here. And the president's economists have predicted that the corporate tax cut alone should help boost American growth to 3 to 4%. And you know, for the last 8 years, it just slogged along at under 2% during the Obama administration. We need that strong 3% plus growth.
You know, and also, Dan, I mean, if you look at what's happening across the country with regards to paychecks, the Tax Policy Center said that the average American is going to get a jump in pay, annual pay, anywhere from like 0.5% to 2%. So maybe next year we're going to be talking about Americans seeing a boost from the plan.
There's no question the average family is going to wind up with more money in their pocket as a result of this bill. That, again, is the short-run effect. What's really important is to get growth going. And by the way, I'm not here to be Pollyanna. We still have to worry about what's happening with government spending, with regulation, with monetary policy. But there's no question this was a positive step. Where, as was just said, other countries have shown us, the UK, Canada, you name it, other countries have shown that lower corporate tax rates are great news for workers.
Hey, Dan, this is Dom Tavella. So obviously corporations have really made out on this deal, but you have higher taxpayers in the blue states, and I'm hearing numbers could be between 10 and 14 million taxpayers are actually going to be paying at a higher rate because they lost the deductibility of state and local taxes, real estate taxes, income taxes. What's that going to do to our economy?
I don't think it's going to be bad for the economy. It might not be very good news for workers, for people living in Marin County, California, or in Westchester County, New York. If you live in a place where your state and local governments are just pillaging you with very high property taxes and state and local income taxes, yes, you might wind up losing from that more than you gain from the tax cuts elsewhere in the bill. But that's why the #1 message should be you need to get on the phone and call up Governor Cuomo in New York and the state legislators in New York and say, we can't afford to be so uncompetitive anymore with these very high tax rates. We're going to see a continued movement of taxpayers out of California, out of New York, to zero-income tax states like Texas and Florida. And that's good news. It's discipline.
We've appointed Betsy McCoy to call Governor Cuomo, by the way.
We've got to get those
we're on it.
And taxaholics out of office. That's the answer.
The problem, Betsy, is that these people, and I agree with Dan 100%, these people are literally going to vote with their feet. But that's the wealthy. That leaves everybody else behind. And those people will not be able to move.
And they're going to have to go to the polls and tell those politicians in no uncertain terms, stop taxing us to death. We don't want to live in tax hell.
And Dan, as you were speaking, a smile from ear to ear came upon my face because you are one of the very few people I've heard really nail it with state legislatures. The people have to call their senators, their assembly people, get on their backs and lower our taxes. Dan, what a great gift you gave me today. I am a happy man. Somebody finally said it.
I'm the Santa Claus of tax policy. What can I say?
Right.